The wind howled through the ancient forest, like a ghost remembering pain. King Vikram, unwavering as ever, hoisted Betal's limp, corpse-like body over his shoulder. The leaves rustled, the trees whispered. Then, with a voice like cracked violins in a forgotten ballroom, Betal stirred.
Ah, King Vikram, still walking, still silent, let me play you a tale. Not with words, but with a violin's cry. A tale of a boy whose music called the dead, and whose truth came with a curse. Long ago, in the lakeside kingdom of Nadyanagar, lived a boy named Raghavendra, known simply as Rag. His father was a modest flute maker, carving instruments with careful fingers and a quiet soul. But Rag was different. He didn't just hear music, he felt it. In the silence between raindrops, he could detect symphonies. In the hush of a sleeping forest, he found lullabies. His fingers danced on strings before he ever learned how to read. By age 7, he mimicked the calls of birds with eerie precision. By 12, his melodies made palace flowers bloom out of season. By 18, sages sat cross-legged and wept as he played. Yet Rag never smiled. He didn't chase fame or gold. He chased one note, a fragment of memory, a phantom whisper, the lullaby his mother had sung to him once long ago, before death snatched her away. Every song he played was a desperate call into the void, hoping it would sing back. Then came a night heavy with storm clouds and silence, when a wandering fakir sat by the riverside and told a tale that wrapped around Rag's heart like a serpent. There is a village called Shunyagar, the fakir said, voice low. A place where no echo lingers, no bird sings, and no laughter lives. For all its people are dead. But, he added, every full moon, if a musician plays with truth in his heart, the dead will rise to listen, but only until the last note fades. Rag did not sleep that night. The next day he set off with nothing but his violin and his longing. Shunyagar lay in ruins, forgotten, hushed, draped in mist. Its broken windows stared like empty eyes, and its wells held no reflections. As the moon climbed high and full, Rag stood alone in the village square. No stage, no audience, just silence that had waited 100 years for music. He raised his violin. The first note sang out like a ripple in ancient water. Then came the breeze, then footsteps, and then they arrived. From the mist emerged the villagers, translucent shapes glowing with soft light, their eyes wide, not with fear but with yearning. Mothers clutched faded forms of children, old men leaned on ghostly canes. Lovers held hands with the thinnest thread of memory. They did not groan, they did not speak. They listened, waiting. Rag played. He gave them everything, songs of summer storms and winter fires, of grief and first kisses, of temples and taverns. Then his hands moved on their own. A lullaby came forth, one he had never practiced, never written, but his soul remembered it. It was her lullaby. As the final note trembled, a figure stepped forward, not misty like the others, but clearer. A woman, familiar, eyes like his. "My son," she whispered. Rag fell to his knees. It was her. She knelt beside him and held his trembling hands. Her voice was gentle, but the truth it carried was heavier than stone. "You were not born in Nadyanagar," she said. "You were born here, in Shunyagar. We were murdered, poisoned by the king's men to hide their shame. I hid you in a basket, tucked in the roots of a tree. Someone found you, raised you, but you belong here." Rag's world crumbled. He had lived, and hundreds had died. She pressed something into his hand, a tiny anklet hers, and whispered, "You must return, my son, not to mourn, but to reveal the truth. Let them know we lived. Let them know we died." Then she faded with the others, leaving only silence. But as she vanished, her voice lingered. "Speak of this night to no one, or you shall lose the memory and the melody forever." Rag returned to Nadjanagar, soul ablaze. He stood in the royal court and played the lullaby again, the song of the dead. Courtiers wept. The queen dropped her goblet. The sages fell to their knees. But as the final note faded, so did everything else. He forgot the village, the ghosts, her face. All he held was a cold anklet and a tear he could not explain. Years passed. Rag became a legend. His fame spread across kingdoms, yet that melody, never returned. He played for kings, gods, and statues, but his heart remained hollow. Then one monsoon evening, Shunyagar saw rain for the first time in decades. Travelers claimed the raindrops sang like violins. An old man with tired eyes wandered into the square, unaware at first of where he was. It was Rag. As his foot touched the stone, the anklet in his pocket warmed. The wind whispered his name, and his memory surged back like lightning. He fell to the ground and wept, and then he played. This time, the ghosts did not merely listen. They danced. Batal's voice curled in the night like incense smoke. "So, tell me, Vikram, was Rag wrong to speak of what was sacred? Should he have held his silence and kept his memories? Or was the truth worth the price? And you, O king, if you could hear the voice of a loved one lost just once, but forget them forever after, would you choose to listen?" Vikram, eyes steady, replied, "Rag was not wrong. Truth must rise, even if it shatters peace. He gave voice to those who had none. And yes, even a single moment of hearing a loved one is worth a lifetime of forgetting. The mind may lose, but the soul remembers." Batal was quiet for a moment. Then he sighed. A sound like the last note of a song played at dusk. "Your heart is heavier than your sword, O king." And with a flash of silver and a gust of wind, Batal vanished into the night once more, fleeing to the haunted tree, while Vikram, silent as ever, walked beneath the stars toward another question, another tale.